Christ is King. Jesus is Lord.
Christian rhetoric and anti-Christian approach to public policy. I don't think that we've, that's right, Jesus is king, and I don't think that we've seen, I don't think that we've seen anything like this in modern American politics.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Trista, and let's talk about the dumpster fire interview that Kamala Harris is in right now. She is in some hot water. The interviews that she has been doing has been just pure dumpster fire awfulness. And so I just want to talk about not only that, but just how much of a fake Christian that she is. The last couple of clips that you saw in the beginning was, the first thing that during one of her rallies in Wisconsin that has caused such controversy. And then I also showed the clip of J.D. Vance at a Wisconsin rally, and he is all for Jesus Christ. He actually is a professed Catholic, and again, those that know my channel know that I do not align myself with the Catholic views, but he does consider himself a Christian, and so that is just another side discussion. But these are two vastly different political parties in this election this year, and so it's more than just red against blue. In this election this year, it's literally against good versus evil. And so later on in this interview, the persons or the two people that yelled out Jesus Lord, Christ is King during that rally, Fox News interviews them, and so later on I'm going to show that. But I really want to hone in on the fact that this all started with the fact that there has been a lot of kickback that has been going on in the Harris-Walz administration, that she just hasn't been doing any interviews. Now that she has been doing some interviews, it has been biting her in this election. She is losing every single time, almost every single day that she has been doing a lot of interviews. And so she goes on Fox and does an interview with Brett Barr, and this interview is just a whole bunch of dumpster fire garbage. And so then the next two clips that you're about to see is just some of the highlights of one of my favorite times during this interview that she does, that is just pure dumpster fire garbage, that it is just further explains, shows, just satisfy, just give the conclusion of just how much she is so not qualified to be president. And then there are people on her side that is actually saying she did so well doing this interview. I don't know if we saw the same interview. I don't know how you can say that as someone that saw this interview and then say she came out looking good, when not one question that was asked that she answered. And so I just want to show you a couple of clips. So after these two clips that you are about to see, we are going to talk about her going on Jamal Bryant's church, okay? Jamal Bryant, another fake pastor that is he calls himself also a politician, a social activist that is for that's for Christian values, and his whole life does not speak any of that. Okay, we are going to talk more about that, but let's take a look at these two clips.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
But
people
you're the
have
lever of
become.
power.
But listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me, the former chief of staff to the president, Donald Trump, former defense secretaries, national security advisor, and his vice president. One, that he is unfit to serve, that he is unstable, that he is dangerous, and that people are exhausted with someone who professes to be a leader who spends full time demeaning and engaging in personal grievances and it being about him instead of the American people. People are tired of that.
If that's the case, why is half the country supporting him? Why is he beating you in a lot of swing states? Why, if he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States? Why is that happening?
This is an election for president of the United States. It's not supposed to be easy.
I know, but
it's not supposed to be. It is not supposed to be a cakewalk.
Let me ask you this, Madam Vice President. You call Donald Trump.
The significance of that.
You call Donald Trump. He's misguided. You say now
he's unstable. He is unstable, Brett.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room. And he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
There were no concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
but
is.
You talked about it.
And Donald Trump
After George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump, which is why the people who know him best, including leaders of our national security community, have all spoken out. Even people who worked for him in the Oval Office, worked with him in the Situation Room, and have said he is unfit and dangerous and should never be president of the United States again, including his former vice president, which is why the job was open for him to choose another running mate.
So I believe that ever since she started or did this interview with Brett Barr on Fox News, it has made her look even worse. From the last couple of interviews that she has done, even on the Breakfast Club and some of the rallies that she has done, a lot of these interviews is proving how much she is not qualified to be president. The Trump derangement syndrome has to be strong for you to not see this, okay? And then the fact that, and then because of how much of a fake Christian she is absolutely pandering after anybody that she is in front of. When it comes to the black voters, when it comes to Americans in general, when it comes to Christians, when it even comes to Catholics, she hasn't even been to the Al Smith dinner. And so some of these things are just proving how much of a fake Christian she is and how 100% she is pandering after anybody. She is willing to change who she is just to get that vote and just to satisfy what she wants, which is power. And she is going to continue in driving this whole country to the ground. And it is a shame that it's taken this long for people to actually see this. And then those that choose not to see it, those people that choose not to see it, the Trump derangement syndrome is strong, okay? It is strong. I did a video on the Trump derangement syndrome and really what that is and what it looks like for anybody to have that diagnosis, okay? And so this next clip that I'm about to show you proves just how much nobody wants her as a president.
Okay? Who is voting for Donald Trump in 24?
It's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah. It's definitely not by Harris, that's for sure.
Who's voting for Kamala Harris here? Absolutely no.
No. Not possible.
There's nothing she can do or say for us to change our mind.
So everything I just showed just shows how reckless she is as a vice president, and even just how she deals with the American people just shows how she's not qualified to be president in this election. So I said in the beginning of this video that I'm going to show Fox News interviewing the two people that yelled out Jesus is Lord and Christ is King during the rally that she was at. And so I'm going to show that clip. Let's take a look at this interview.
We remember Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended.
Christ is King. Jesus is Lord.
Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
All right, so that moment we brought to you yesterday. Today, we'd like to bring in those students who yelled that out to Kamala Harris. 2 pro-life students at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, both juniors. Luke Pulaski and Grant Beth join us now. Luke, Grant, thanks for being with us this morning. Luke, I'll start with you. Just take us into that moment. What happened yesterday? We see the video clip. Is there anything more you can tell us about what you guys had to say and what happened afterwards from that video?
Thank you. Yeah, it's great to be here. I would say the first thing I want to bring up, this is our first time taking an interview with anybody, and I think it's important because this is our raw, untold story. There's a lot that happened off camera that we said at the protest, while we were protesting. And I guess we could start off with after she talked about overturning Roe v. Wade and Donald Trump, I yelled out to the crowd that abortion is the sacrament of Satan. And when I said that, I deeply do believe that as a Christian. And about 10 seconds go by, and that's when the video of my friend Grant and I proclaiming that Christ is Lord and Jesus is King, when we said that. And I think it's important to say this is a small venue, and we're about 20 to 30 yards away from Kamala at this point. There's a lot of controversy that says she wasn't talking to us, or we left, we didn't get kicked out. Well, I can speak on Grant and I's behalf. On video, Grant's getting pushed and shoved, and there's about 5 seconds after or before she tells us to go to the smaller rally down the street. You can see on the video she waves. She was actually waving to me. I took this cross off my neck that I wear, and as we were getting asked to leave, I held it up in the air and waved at her and pointed to her, and she looked directly in the eye, kind of gave me an evil smirk. And yeah, I just want to clear that up and confirm that she 100% was talking to us. And there's other controversy that says we left. We were getting shouted at, pushed, assaulted, screamed at, so we were walking away. But there's about 3 attendees there, volunteers, that kicked us out with badges or whatever they had. And I specifically remember this one man saying, "You were uninvited and unwelcome to this event. You need to leave." And all they did was walk us out the door. They didn't tell us why. No cops escorted us out. No Secret Service. And yeah, that's our story.
So where was this event held exactly?
This was held in our University of La Crosse's gym. So
did you pay tuition to go to the university?
I do pay tuition to go to the school, but this was a free event. This is in a really small venue. They only said there was about 2,500 people there, which when she told us to go to a smaller rally down the street, I didn't really think that for a political rally there could be smaller than 2,500 people.
But you were allowed to be there. You paid to be there.
Yes,
basically.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Grant, I want to get your point of view from there. So is there anything you want to add to Luke's story? And what did it feel like? I mean, she basically said, you said, or Grant said something about, or Luke said something about Jesus, right? Jesus is King, Jesus is Lord. And she said, "You're not welcome here." I mean, I want to know what you felt in that moment and if there's anything you want to add to his story.
First of all, thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Charlie, for having us. We were very blessed to be here. We were very blessed to speak on the national stage. It's important that we get our message out in any way possible. First of all, we didn't really intend on, going at any people. People online were calling us MAGA fascists. That was never our intention going to this rally. We were only here to protest our faith, and we did so. We never expected this to grow as large as it was. Essentially, she was speaking, and we decided to say, Christ is King, Jesus is Lord. And we got a lot of backlash. As you can see in that firsthand video, I was pushed by an elderly woman. We were heckled at, we were cursed at, we were mocked. And that's the biggest thing for me personally. In reflection of the event, Jesus was mocked, his disciples were mocked, and that's okay. In reality, we did God's work, and we were there for the right reasons, and God is watching us in this moment. I'm all about being a cordial person, no matter your beliefs, but I do believe that we were sent there by God, and I do believe this timing, 18 days before the election, is imperative for young Americans and first-time voters like myself to understand that this is what you are going to get with a Kamala Harris presidency. You are going to get the Kamala Harris that alienates over 50% of the US population that is Christian. You're going to get the Kamala Harris that skips the Al Smith memorial dinner, that no major presidential candidate has skipped since, I believe, Walter Mondale in 1984. Now over 40 years ago. I'm a 20-year-old man. That's double my life. So that's a long time for someone not to attend that event. That, along with our experience on this day, it's a good storm for the opposition. And it just proves what type of person Kamala is and what type of leader she will.
Everything these two students said during the interview, I 1000% agree with. This is against good versus evil. This is a whole lot bigger than just the fact that I disagree with you, even as a Democrat or independent voter. Whatever you may think, evidence is so overwhelmingly true, and it's so obvious just how much she is pandering after the votes of the American people, and she's just willing to say yes and yes to anything and everything to whoever is in front of her. And so right after this interview, I believe she also went to the church of Jamal Bryant. Now, Jamal Bryant, just everything that he represents is just speaks anti-Christian to me, because just even him he calls himself a pastor, and we know that in 2 Timothy, it just talks about the qualifications of being an overseer. And being an overseer, one of the qualifications is that you have to be above reproach, and he is none of that. And I just disagree with every single thing that he represents. He calls himself a Christian. I don't even call him a Christian or even a pastor, because just how he represents his life doesn't represent what the Bible says. Just as a pastor, as an overseer, as the Bible says, and he is none of that. And so you will see in this video just some of the things that Kamala Harris says, and even Jamal Bryant. Jamal Bryant is more of a politician than an actual pastor that cares about the people. He is the pastor that actually is promoting weed. He is promoting that type of drug in the church instead of bettering the church, instead of bettering, and I know that's probably not even a word, but just trying to encourage men to be better. But he just have this whole black activist type of attitude instead of a Christ-like attitude, and that's one of the things that I am 1000% against. And now he's bringing Kamala Harris onto the pulpit, who is a woman, and she's now supposed to be preaching and stuff. I'm 1000% against female pastors. The Bible doesn't talk about that, and so you may disagree with me. Let's talk about it in the comments section below. And also, if you're not following me on X, which formerly known as Twitter. If you are not on there, I share a lot of information on there as well. I share and comment, and I do a lot of engagement on X and on Instagram. So if you will follow me on both of those platforms, you will learn more about me, not only here on YouTube, but also on Instagram and on X. But I just want to show just a little bit of the clip that she is talking about. I just don't like to, once I see you as a liar, I just can't listen to you anymore. It's just after everything that I have found out about Kamala Harris being a liar. She's not even black. She keeps saying that she is a black woman, but we have, if you have been following Candace Owens' whole investigation on her family and who her father is and who this Barrow character that she have said in her book is her grandmother, she is nothing like the Barrow character that Kamala Harris had put in her book. I mean, she is just lying just for no reason, and that's the whole point. She is lying for no reason. She is just pandering after black voters, after, as I said, American people, and it's just terrible. But I just wanted to just show you that she went on to Jamal Bryant's church and just spoke some nonsense, and I just can't. I just cannot, see myself even listening to anything that she has to say. It hurts my soul. The words that come out of her mouth abuses me as a person that is listening to the words or whatever word salad that she is projecting out into the world. And so I just have to show you guys just some of the things that she talked about, and it just irks me, and that the people are actually listening to the things that she's saying. It just bothers me so much. If you are not, again, follow me on Twitter. If you are not listening to Candace Owens and some of the things that she have found, as I said before, the Trump derangement syndrome is strong. You literally have to listen to what Candace Owens is saying. She is not just saying it just because she is also biased, but just the fact that something just didn't sit right with all of us, with anybody that just listens to Kamala Harris, and she is out here saying that she is a Christian, that she is for women's rights. That is all false. How are you going to be a Christian and a follower of Jesus Christ and for women's rights if you are supporting abortion? She had the Parenthood mobile outside of the DNC during that time, giving out abortion pills. How are you for women's rights and you're actually doing that? How are you for women's rights if you're lying to people about who you are as a person? How are you for women's rights if you are not encouraging people in the body of Christ? Okay? These are things that are proof that she is not a Christian. She is a fake Christian. She's even a fake person. Just an individual in general. She is fake from the top on down. How can you listen to her? And so I just wanted to show this clip. I mean, you know that everything that she's saying is false. If you just look at it, if you just listen to it, I'm just going to put the actual sermon, Jamal Bryant's Church. It's going to be in the description box below. The full interview of the Fox News and the two students that yelled out Jesus Christ is Lord. And everything will be in the description box below. But I just want to implore you and just want to yell and just be able to sound the alarm that this is not who you want as a president. This is not who you want. And so for those that still, if you are still undecided, I don't know, how can you be? How can you be undecided? How can you be undecided as a voter after watching that interview? How can you be undecided as a voter if you are Christian after she just displayed non-Christian behavior, anti-Christ behavior? How can you support her? She is the epitome of a liar. In John 8:14, I believe, or John 8:44, it says that you speak the lies of your father. And I just believe that she does that. John talks about it so clearly in that scripture, John 8:44, where it talks about the language that people speak, or he's actually talking about the devil and how he is the father of all lies. I feel that is the epitome of who Kamala Harris is. She is a liar. She is an antichrist. She is evil. Do not vote for her, okay? Do not vote for her. After everything I just said, take a look at this clip of Kamala Harris at Jamal Bryant's fake church.
You were in the room for the first black woman vice president of the United States. Would you make some noise and receive our fearless leader.
Thank you, thank you. Good morning, church. Good morning, New Birth. Good morning. Please, please have a seat. Good morning, church. I'm so honored to be with you. Thank you all, everyone. Good Sunday morning. Pastor. Thank you. Okay, it's Sunday morning. And I first of all, Pastor Bryant, I want to thank you.
Okay, I wanted to interject really quick before the rest of the video goes that, you can tell inside of, or you could just tell while she's at the pulpit that, they keep cheering and they are just loving the fact that she's there and she's like, it's Sunday, relax, sit down, sit your behind down right now, I'm talking, so let's just, and then there's a time limit, so be quiet so I can finish this and talk and go about my way. You can just kind of tell that, or maybe it's just me because of my disdain of just how she is as a person. Maybe that's just it and I'm just kind of projecting that, but you could just tell a little bit. And here you're going to see that they start to sing happy birthday because it's her birthday during this time. And you can tell that, she almost seemed a little bit annoyed just by, what the crowd is doing. And so, again, you're going to see them wishing her a happy birthday. But I just wanted to point that out, just how she looks and just how she is acting, just annoyed and just like, okay, hurry up so I can just say what I have to say type of thing so she can sit down. Anyway, take a look at this.
You and I were reminiscing. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm so touched. Well, it is my great joy to celebrate my birthday with all of you here. And thank you for those warm and beautiful wishes. Pastor Bryant, I thank you for your leadership. You and I have discussed, we first met almost 20 years ago when there was a convening of rising stars in the country. And we had conversations back then about how we thought of our role and responsibility to our country and our responsibility and duty as leaders. And it is so good to be with you this morning to celebrate what you have accomplished with this extraordinary congregation. And so I'm honored to be here with everyone. And thank you. Thank you all. And please have a seat. Yes, we are reminded of the ties that bind us to each other and the importance of community. And that is what I know New Birth Church provides to so many people across Atlanta and beyond. And so, Pastor Bryant, I thank you for your words and for your vision. And in this election season, I also thank you for the time you have spent traveling our country to encourage people to register and to vote. Because you know, and we all know, your parents who gave so much and led such an honorable life, and including, of course, among the leaders upon whose broad shoulders we stand, Congressman John Lewis. As some of you may know, my mother was a breast cancer researcher. She was one of the very few women, and fewer even women of color, who was engaged in studying breast cancer. And she had two goals in her life: to raise her two daughters, my sister Maya and me, and to end breast cancer. It was her life's work. And so today, of course, then has personal significance for me, just as I know it does for Pastor Bryant and so many of you here. And so to everyone here today who knows what it means to support a loved one through a cancer diagnosis and treatment, and to those of you fighting your own battles, I am holding you close in my heart and in my prayers. And I thank you for your courage and your strength. And on this day, then I am reminded, with everything that we reflect on the parable from the Gospel of Luke. So in the Gospel, we are told of a man who traveled from the road from Jerusalem to Jericho, a loving God, a loving God. A God who asks us to speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. Because in this moment, across our nation, what we do see are some who tried to deepen division among us, spread hate, sow fear, and cause chaos. There are those who suggest that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, instead of what we know, which is the true measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up. And this moment in our nation must be, and let us remember that while weeping may endure for a night, joy cometh in the morning. Thank you. May God bless you. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you all very much.
I'm so sorry that you had to see that, but I did just kind of edit down a little bit of this clip. If you want to see the whole service, it's over 2 hours long. I'm going to link it in the description box below. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys just some of the things that she talked about, and just, you know, I mean, towards the end of that, who says cometh? Who says cometh? She used the King James language. Joy cometh in the morning. Who says that? Who says that? I just can't. I just can't. I don't know how you guys feel, but I just wanted to end this video and just talk about and just end with the fact that I know I've proven how much of a false, fake Christian, fake person, and just fake everything in this video. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Is my language too strong when it comes to her? I just can't. I can't. So much information is just coming out on just how she allegedly plagiarized her newest book. It's just too much information that's out there just about who she is as a person. Again, I'm not here saying that Trump is like the greatest person, but at the same time, you know, I think that Trump is just a better candidate when it comes to him as a president because of the fact that he was president before, he has a track record, and then even though I may not agree with a lot of things with his character and even with him, just him as a person, again, I am going to say that he is 10,000 million trillion times better than this fake person, whoever she is as a person. She keeps saying that she's black when she's not. She keeps saying that she's a Christian when she's not. And she keeps saying that she's for women's rights when she's not. How are you for women's rights if you keep promoting abortion? That's just me, you know? Anyway, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share it. Let me know in the comments below as well. If you're on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. All of my information will be again in the description box below. And let's have a discussion on Twitter. On X. Let's have a discussion in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and tune into my next video. God bless.